Hi, my name is Justin Obara. I'm an English lecturer and an assistant director of CCID. Today I wanted to share one of the ways that I implement peer review in my classes. I think peer review is really hard to do. I think it's hard for faculty and for students. Without guidelines, students will often just grade grammar, and even with guidelines, students will race through it. So to try to do peer review a little bit better, try to make it more valuable for the students and more consistent with what I value in terms of pedagogy, I use a collaborative peer review. I first heard about collaborative peer reviews or read about them in John Bean's book Engaging Ideas. It's a multidisciplinary approach to teaching writing. So collaborative peer review is pretty simple to actually do in the classroom. It involves students pairing up and then exchanging papers. Then I explain to the students to follow guidelines that I will have given them and that they need to write responses to those guidelines. And again, I emphasize to the students this is collaborative. Don't break it in half and have one person do 1 through 5 and the other do 5 through 10 or something like that, but I actually want them to discuss the responses that they're going to write out, responses that I'm going to look at, and they're going to share with the writer of the paper. And what this does is that the students then need to actually discuss what they're seeing, and they often see different things, and then they will have to negotiate with each other the criteria from the guidelines and the assumptions that they're bringing with them to each piece of writing, and actually then what's on the paper. The goal here is that they begin to really have to experience what it means to be an audience, to see that audiences have different points of view, different points of view, and then also, what do you then do as a writer when you know that your audiences are going to see things differently? I often, after these assignments, ask students to write short reflections about the peer review process and also create revision plans for themselves. One thing that is probably important to note about collaborative peer reviews, because they're looking at 2 essays, it can take a little bit longer, but the essays that they're going to read can be assigned in advance, can be put up online, students can read them for homework, and then come to class and then do the peer review. I hope the takeaway for students in this is that by having them actually talk about what they're seeing in the writing and responding to the criteria and thinking about that, it sort of denaturalizes kind of ingrained assumptions about what writing is, what good writing is, what their expectations are. The other thing it does, and this is really valuable, I think, to think about for faculty and for the students, is that the focus on peer review, especially for beginning writers or college writers even, is on the peer reviewer. That the peer reviewer is the one that's really gaining something out of this experience, more so than the feedback that the writer gets. If you have any questions about collaborative peer reviews, about peer reviews in general, about how I set up my guidelines for the peer review activities, don't hesitate to contact me here at CCID, and thank you for watching.